We know the president was in the Chippewa Valley on Friday. He was having a roundtable. He was talking to farmers. There were people in the crowd. There were people protesting a ways away, and there were people covering the story, like James Kelly, senior radio journalist at Civic Media for WCFW and WSCM in Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls. We talked to James right before this event, and he said he would come back, and he did. James, thanks for being here. Crazy day up in the Chippewa Valley on Friday. The heart of the 3rd Congressional District, and you had a chance, first of all, what was the mood up there? And you had a chance to talk to a lot of the candidates in the 3rd Congressional District. Tell us why that district is important and what they had to say regarding the president's visit.
Well, I think the best way to kind of say it would be how candidate for 3rd Congressional District, Emily Berge, said it, is that this is a swing district in a swing state, and there is a lot of power here in the 3rd Congressional District to kind of direct how the rest of the state is going to go and how the rest of the country is going to go in the House of Representatives, just because of, how competitive this district is. And, if this is a district that swings towards the blue side, it's a pretty safe bet that a lot of other swing districts are going to be doing the same.
And obviously, Republicans agreeing with the fact of that the 3rd district is such a priority. Can you explain to us a little bit about why this district is so important politically, both for Wisconsin and nationally, and kind of the makeup of the 3rd district?
Yeah, well, as you know, we have a pretty interesting map of the 3rd Congressional District, a little bit of a U-shaped there. So it is a pretty interesting district that has a lot of farms in it, and it does have a couple cities, La Crosse, Eau Claire, and that's really where most of the Democratic votes come from, but there's a lot of farmland in there too. Now, the big problem is that over the last year, a lot of farmers have had difficulties with tariffs, selling their things off and getting the fertilizers they need. And, I always think it's one thing to say that they're struggling. It's another thing to say, imagine having to fill a 300-gallon combine with diesel fuel at almost $6 a gallon. That makes a huge difference for you. So there's a lot of, I would say, anger, honestly, of farmers who have previously voted Republican and wanted this America First agenda. It's just not what they've gotten, really.
So, James, speaking of that, there were some protests going on. They were about a mile away from where the president was. What were you hearing? What were the big messages coming out of these protests?
Yeah, a lot of it was about the farmers and the war in Iran and gas prices. That's definitely the major issues right now. But a lot of these individuals who are protesting have also been out and about in the Chippewa Valley community protesting before. No kings. There's a lot of leftover signs from those that people keep breaking out. And it seems almost like these people aren't forgetting any of the issues that have brought them out to protest before. They're only adding to the list. So the protests are getting a bit bigger. There was about 300 protesters at the airport when Air Force One was landing. Probably a little over 150 outside the roundtable discussion as well. There were some Trump supporters as well at the airport, just there to kind of watch the plane land, not really there to protest anything, just kind of excited to catch a glimpse of the president. And there wasn't too much of a back and forth between those protests, which was good to see.
We're talking with James Kelly. He's a senior radio journalist for WCFW and WSCM in Eau Claire and the Chippewa Falls. Obviously, criticism from the protesters, from the people who were in support of the president, maybe going to the roundtable discussion. What kind of support does he still have in that area, and what are they still most pleased with this president about, if you were hearing from any of them?
Well, that's kind of tough to narrow down sometimes. A lot of times it's just we love President Trump. Sure. President Trump does what we want. And a lot of times these people are focused on, Medicaid, claiming Medicaid scams and elections being rigged and all that. And they want to go back and forth with it a little bit. And when it comes down to backing up statements with factual evidence, it becomes more look it up.
Yeah, it's. I wanted to get your response, James. As a journalist, you cover the news. If you happen to see Kristen Welker's interview yesterday, and a lot of people saying it's about time that a journalist spoke up to the president and called him out on this. Just on a personal level, what's your thoughts on that exchange?
Yeah, I did see it. It definitely an interesting exchange, and it was nice to see, somebody kind of demand that evidence, those facts. That's not something that happens very often, but this is also a conversation that I have with a lot of other lawmakers who, when they're speaking on these policies and speaking on what's being said about these policies and what reality is, a lot of times they note, how are we supposed to really cover this? Something new and interesting and important is happening pretty much every day, and it's impossible to kind of keep up that pace on everything every single day, and it just starts to become a little normalized.
Is it going to be a quieter week for you in the Chippewa Falls area this week, James?
Oh, I hope not. I like when things happen.
Good.
There you
like
go.
to hear that.
Well, we're always happy to have you. James Kelly, senior radio journalist at Civic Media for WCFW and WSCM in the Eau Claire, Chippewa Falls area. James, thanks a lot. We appreciate it. Always look forward to talking to you. When we come back, there is so much more. This is Daybreak. I'm Brian Noonan.
I'm Jamie Martinson. Thank you so much for joining us today. This is the Civic Media Network.